Alright everyone, welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2. We got two of the top North American players, also streamers and content creators here to test out all the balance changes that Blizzard is making to improve Starcraft 2 at the end of 2019. Two incredibly entertaining players for so many different reasons. Let me introduce you. In a best of five. In the bottom right, the founder, El Capitan, and designated philosopher of Root Gaming. It is Catz. And in the top left, from the Juggernaut clan, the Juggernaut man, it is Jason, one of the top North American Terran players, alongside Hero Marine, who's not North American, but one of the Terran players who streams all the time with way more MMR than me, making me look bad, but also doing a great job at it. He's a straight-up standard macro Terran, except when he isn't. Everybody has those proxy Rexes mixed in, but so while he's already predicted, he says Catz is probably just going to proxy hatch me like 6 games in a row. And that's how Catz do. Somehow he got extra games. Catz is already on the way to Proxy. It's already been scouted here. So for every bit and ounce and gram of standard that Jason is, Catz is not. Catz, the Puck, the Florencio, well, the original, really. The player who's like, no. I'm top GM. You know what my strat is? I'm going to put a Hatchery at the bottom of your ramp. We're on the balance test mod. Who knows? Maybe by the time you're watching this, my millions of YouTube subscribers in 2021, this is now just the live, most amazing iteration of StarCraft yet. But, so the changes, major changes. Some things to note. Advanced ballistics for Terran is now on the fusion core, making Liberator range a lot easier to get. A lot of the changes are more mid to late game focused. There aren't too many changes that are going to affect the opening of the game, especially when the opening of the game is there's a hatchery in a command center in some sort of pacifist movie cliche showdown here, where neither of them can really attack one another, and they must work together to defeat the greater evil, which is, of course, the Protoss. Because last year, the Protoss may have almost won a tournament, and if we band together and we combine our forces, we could finally get rid of the Firstborn, because we're just salty children. But, for now, the Marine standing against the hatch. A queen is on the way. Catz is making... well, Jason put a nicely positioned bunker there to make sure that he gets anything that comes out. Remember, the queen pops out where the larva is, so she's going to take some pot shots. Catz is, he's going. He's got lings on the way. It's not like he doesn't have an expansion either. Jason scouted this. He scouted there's an expo, so this is like a macro cheese out of Catz. The creep tumor is on the way. Oh, another change. Creep tumors cannot be canceled. So if you spread the creep tumor and they snipe it, they've actually cut it off. That's a pretty decent buff, especially to Terran early game. Broodlings being used as part of a serious fighting army. Ah, the queen is assassinated, but the Marines will easily be taken out here. How many players use broodlings as part of their timing attack? I know of at least one. But Hellions on the high ground. The Lings are going to box out, so the creep tumors actually block this. Will force a scan. There's a fusion core on the way. The battlecruiser, slight nerf in that the cooldowns of everything are a little bit longer. And when you tactical jump, it stuns, much like recall. So that way it's a little bit easier to take out. It is a little bit easier to take out the battlecruiser before it can get away for free. Or is it on the other end of it? I don't remember which side. We'll see. We'll see. Is he going battlecruiser? Does he rush advanced ballistics? No, he's going battlecruiser. Because Liberators will no longer require ever having a tech lab for anything. Wait, there's no creep tumor, Jason! Jason! Jason just killed his own Hellion. What? To try to kill a creep tumor with the fancy friendly fire trick? Except there was no creep tumor and he just killed his own Hellion. Alright, so Jason trying a little bit too hard there. but that's okay. So Catz already adding on another attack behind this. He killed an SCV first. Oh no. Jason. A classic North American Terran move. It's like, well, this is something Maru would do, except there's no creep door. It apparently killed an SCV to snipe the last tumor. We're doing it live. All right, I'm gonna go back, edit in a perfect play-by-play cast. All right, I said that the first time, of course. A battlecruiser's on the way. Roaches, a roachling follow-up, not in the least bit surprising after an attack like that. You keep them low on tech, you keep them low on units, they try to get greedy, and maybe you can smash them. But a battlecruiser, of course, not easily countered by roaches, but the sheer amount of Zerg is the concern. The battlecruiser shows up. What does Catz do next? The orbital command will be forced to lift. There are only 2 bases. There's not like another base waiting in the main. Oh, the depot was not lowered in time. The roaches are in the main. The battlecruiser doing its best. It has unlimited ammo, but it can only shoot so fast. Still a lot of roaches and lings coming in. So many SCVs are going to go down. 5 so far. Well, I said so many, but it actually appears Jason's done a very good job of minimizing this. Behind it, Catz is droning like an absolute madman. All the Hellions die. The only counterattack potential... Oh, wait a second. More Zerglings come in. Force it on the left. Everything's cleared up in the main. He's going to transfer SCVs down. So here's the thing. Despite the fact that Catz did all this damage, and he's so far ahead in workers, what he doesn't have is tech. He doesn't have a lair. He only has queens and spore crawlers to deal with battlecruisers. This is going to be the classic tug of war between a Zerg player with a whole lot of drones and very little else, and a Terran player with a lot of tech, but who's taken an economic beatdown. There are 2 battlecruisers. He's actually just going to fly them straight across so they maintain that tactical jump cooldown. He's playing the long game, and I'm not surprised. Jason very well experienced at that. But he's looking to get as much efficiency out of these battlecruisers, but also keep them as a constant and regular threat. I have the best observing skills. Yamato cannon's on the way. It's going to be a mech transition, probably Hell clones after this. A lair is near finished for Catz. He's got a bunch of queens to try to drive this away. Battlecruisers, the flying laser bathtubs that they are. Not a lot of maneuverability, but very hard to take down once they get going. Looks like Jason not going to risk it. Jason understanding that the worker count and the worker numbers don't necessarily reflect exactly the scenario in this game. Looks like Catz is going to face everything head on. He's always trying to get an angle, looking for an opportunity. Whereas Jason is just trying to get back to a normal macro game like a good macro Terran. Why does no one ever play real games anymore? I'm putting words in his mouth, but if you've listened to him in some of those team matches we've done, I mean, most Terran players are kind of like that. Let's be honest here. But with the Spire, the Infestation Pit, just now +1. No upgrades yet from Jason besides that Yamato cannon. In fact, he doesn't have an armory, which is a little bit of an oversight. Queens being melted beneath the laser batteries. Oh, wow. Yeah, the 3 battlecruisers are making things very difficult. That Spire going from a potential offensive opportunity to the last line of defense. Suddenly 3 battlecruisers with approximately 50,000 HP combined are looking to be a real and present danger. The Spire in a classic vulnerable location. He built it at the back of the mineral line, and if there is a more vulnerable spot, I don't know where it would be. I guess at the 3rd, but suddenly the battlecruisers just glassing everything underneath them. Uncontested. He's targeting the hatch. The worker count is drawing closer and closer to even as the battlecruisers finally coming to fruition. The counterattack shut down with ease. And suddenly, if you look at the supply, Wildcat still maintains a slight lead. It is a lot. Whoa. So that's how that looks. So there's a quick stun, a charge up time where you get a few more shots in, and then it jumps. Okay. Interesting there. But there will be another jump. Jason being pretty conservative with his jump timings. He will be able to go back home, repair, rebuild, rearm, reload, and take revenge. Ravagers, roaches, zerglings, and corruptors. I don't know if they're going to be a match here. 2 Widowmines will take a chunk out of the zerglings at the front. There's a single tank, some cyclones. The battlecruiser is not fully repaired. Are there enough corruptors? Oh, any anti-armor? No, there wasn't enough energy. 1 battlecruiser actually sniped off before the repair. Yamato cannon on the retreat. Ravager getting sniped away. Catz has turned this into a macro game once again. I mean, macro game is a general term that is bandied about with no actual meaning. Besides, I guess we're gonna play a little bit longer, but still. Lair. Infestors on the way. The Infestors have Microbial Shroud. Rest in peace, infested Terrans. We're defilers now. Oh no, 25 drones and more being transferred into the Inferno. Hellions roasting, and suddenly the worker count gonna go the other way. Wait, are we there yet? Oh, getting a little bit greedy. It is Jason, but Hellions are essentially expendable here. Blue Flame is done. The only thing here I see for Jason that could be a sticking point is the lack of any upgrades. Having at least +1 of armor or weapons, well, why not both? Porque no los dos, mi amigo Catz. But they're still pretty far off. The +1 mech weapons upgrade for especially tanks, of which he's not building many, but he's starting. Or the armor upgrade across the board. It can be very helpful with your maxed out army for relatively cheap. So, Microbial Shroud, let's talk about it. It's essentially a budget, off-brand version of Dark Swarm. For those who don't know what that means, you cast the Microbial Shroud, which I've never seen happen, so I'm very excited to see what happens. And it covers your units, and they take 50% less damage from air units. Not from spells, not from ground units, but from air units. That includes battlecruisers, liberators, carriers, what have you. So, it's pretty specific. How's it gonna go? I don't know. Let's find out. Thank you, Catz, for giving us a shot. Otherwise, it replaces the Infested Terran ability. There's still Fungal and Neural, which remain essentially unchanged. Alright, we'll see. Will we see some Microbial Shot? And it only affects ground units. Oh, the lock-ons are there! Magfield Accelerator is spun up. Oh, the rage is... it's been a little bit since we saw Hell Clones, but the range approximately 69 or so, which is pretty nice. Catz still struggling to actually deal with the sources of the issues here, which is the strength of this unit composition in general. The battlecruisers will jump away. Home to repair. 4th base on the way. So, Catz remains fluid. He's, of course, got 9 lives. He's very good at bouncing back from awkward scenarios, whereas you can tell Jason just keeps trying to build up, like, this is the army I want, and I'm gonna get there. He's got his battlecruisers going into Hellclone, like your battle mech style, and then eventually solidifying a solid maxed out 200 mech death ball. That's gonna be some more tanks, some Liberators mixed in, maybe a couple Thors, we'll have to see. Now, Liberator range is on the Fusion Core now, which is, in my opinion, a pretty huge late-game buff, because a lot of the sticking point was players literally finding a tech lab in order to start Liberator range. But if you open up Battlecruiser, you got that Fusion Core, so might as well slap that Liberator range on there, which, you see it so quick? Jason already did it. I wasn't even paying attention. He's way ahead of me. Oh my god, the Cyclone sharking around. A great game 1 of this best of 5. The Hive's still not done. Hellions looking for an opportunity. Catz is down to 61 drones, but he's actually banking up a pretty significant amount of money. Oh! Cyclones! The valuable infestors. He fungals, but the infestors essentially paperweights. Oh my god. That's so much damage. Is that worth... So Catz has finished the Hive. What do we see? A Greater Spire? What are we looking at next? I mean, yeah, but So Greater Spire. Broodlords, obviously a strong option, but Broodlords also got slapped with a nerf. I was actually talking with Cyril, just humble brag, but Cyril says that is the biggest nerf to Zerg, is the Broodlord leash range. So before, the Broodlords, they could do an attack, and then if you microed them well, their broodlings would be like, I want to eat you, and the broodlord would already be in another zip code before the broodlings actually come down and attack, making it very hard to get the broodlords. But now you actually have to stay in that area while the broodlings get slapped down by their father who wants to not have them anymore, because broodlords are just bigger broodlings. So the leash range and the significantly smaller ability to micro broodlords is, in Cyril's not yet practiced opinion, the biggest nerf to late game Zerg. If I'm putting words in Cyril's mouth, then he's going to say something very dryly, sarcastically, and mean to me, I'm sure. But that was the impression I got. Like, the Infestor, the big issues are still the combination of things. Well, the Infested Terran is a huge part of dealing with the late game air. But the Broodlord is essentially that unit that almost invalidates ground. Okay, that's a lot of Liberators here. Microbial Shroud could be helpful. What do I just call it? Shroud? Yeah, I'm not going to say Microbial Shroud every time. That's ridiculous. Oh, beautiful fungal, but he's in range. How many Infestors left? One Infestor with no energy. I guess we're not going to see the Shroud for now, but beautiful flank. Wait, there's not very much anti-air. Corrosive bows across the board. Huge volley. But the liberation, the Venn diagram of freedom is disgusting. There's very little anti-air here. This is a very confusing fight. The Corruptors are winning it for now. The Broodlords put Jason on the retreat. Another battle cruiser. Can it jump away? Does it? It has the cooldown, but no. In that 1 second of charge-up time, gets sniped off. Their turrets at the back. I don't know how much further he can go. Jason jumps away to safety. The Broodlords are going to continue forward. The Hell Clone splits off to try to draw Katz's forces away. Liberators will hold the line for now. Spine Crawlers doing what they do best, but Catz doesn't seem to have a plan to deal with the Cyclones. He's going for the kill. He's got the Death Ball. A Yamato Cannon. Down goes a Brood. Some Vikings in the back behind the Liberators. Is there enough anti-air? No splitting. Oh, Jason gets hit by a few corrosive bows. 4 Thors finish up. The Planetary Fortress is holding for now, but I think so many units. Catz is getting gutted at the back. He went all in towards the front, but Jason held the line. The line did not break. And behind it, Catz is going to lose a whole bunch of drones. He's going to lose all the units rallying across. He loses his Death Ball, and with it, he loses the game. Come on, Catz. So Catz is going to try to fight it out. Respectable. But 3-3 finishing up for Jason. Jason has solidified. There was that moment. That was the moment. Between the breaking of the siege and the counterattack with the Broodlords. That was the moment for Catz to turn what had been a constant struggle to deal with the tech of Jason around. That time is ending. And his victory, or potential victory, or further life in this match is essentially dependent upon Jason really screwing up an attack. Like, there's not much more here. No matter how many beautiful infestors and neural parasites, like, either Jason doesn't attack at all for like 8 minutes, or he really botches an attack, and now Catz is building the units to take advantage of that. Jason has 6 bases. No, the main is mined out for both sides. 6 bases. He's got 3-3. He's got the army, like, he's not even bothering with ghosts because he has plenty of mech. Oh yeah, the Thor. The Thor got a change. It attacks almost twice as fast for about half as much damage with the single target anti-air mode, which it is in right now. just to make it more microable, because everybody knows Thors are a very microable unit. Beautiful parasitic bomb, corrosive bile, fungal combination, but the spell casting is not going to be enough to get through the brute force of Jason's army. He pounds the point home, and after 20 minutes, after a proxy hatch at his weight... Okay, Catz, stop it. God. Catz, I was outroing. Catz. He's down by 80 supply. Alright, the 6 Ravager counterattack. That was, I mean, he hit the wombo combo. In a better economic situation, that would have been an incredible fight. The simple version is, for every roach that dies, Jason can build 10 Hellions and still be fine. So, it doesn't matter how perfect your spell casting is. If you lose any units, you're still not coming out on top. Alright. And Catz, despite incredible control and obvious... a single G. What a slap. Or just very slight misclick. But Jason takes game 1. I think a pretty decent demonstration. We didn't get to see any microbial shroud. Oh, Catz put a G in party chat after. Immediately after he got out of the game. I think still within the grace period. He covered it. But super interesting game. Always fun, like not only not a mirror match, but any map. All right. We'll go to Thunderbird. I'm going to make him play Thunderbird. But yeah, make sure to check these guys out on Twitch. On Twitch, Jason is Juggernaut Jason. And Catz is Root Catz. And if this is on YouTube, you can unlock the ability to read and also the description by liking and subscribing, and then you can read in the description the links to their streams. So how exciting is that? Superintendent Lee, well, he did 5 queen kills. On top of, that was also the battlecruiser that defended. So, the battlecruiser is still coming through despite a light nerf tap. I wouldn't say it's a nerf bat. It's more like a hand, like the nerf to the battlecruiser is kind of like Blizzard put a hand on the shoulder of the battlecruisers, like, settle down, son. But not reining it in or cutting off its capabilities by any means. Game number 2. Neither player are very specific about maps, so I'm just picking them. So I want to see what happens on Thunderbird. This is a map that almost forces, not necessarily, but a more late game style. Also the nerf to Nidus, where if it doesn't have secreted coating, or propulsive peristalsis, or Nidus lube. So essentially the Nidus now by default is kind of back. Apparently Jason was right. Like, Jason has played Catz on the ladder enough that he's just gonna proxy hatch. And it's gonna, like, it was pretty damn close to putting him in the lead. I think a few things go sideways and Catz easily either wins or does critical damage that is almost impossible to come back from. Anyways. So the Nidus will not be able to unload. It can't blow out units or suck them in as fast. The worm. Until it gets its lube upgrade. So that is kind of a gatekeeper to being able to do especially quick Nidus all-ins, which is an interesting way to go about it. And looks like we're going to play the game out exactly the same. Wait, is he going to build a bunker? No, I'll make sure we don't get supply blocked here. So, Catz has always been, like, he's theory crafting 3 metas into the future, which can be a huge benefit, or on occasion he has those games that's like, excuse me, sir, calm down. Like, so 2 bunkers. I think, well, it looks like he's intentionally going to try to wall off this area. This might... I actually don't know. Does he feel this is... Oh, was the roach warren spotted? Maybe continued gas mining? I'm not sure. But a roach warren is on the way. I think Jason remembers what happened last game. And of course these two, they're within 10 or so ranks on the GM ladder. Oh, he really wants that creep tumor, but Catz boxes him out. So, once again, is this worth it? Are those roaches being built here? Yes. So Catz got the roach one this time quick enough, so that way the larva he has at his opponent's base could be used in order to build roaches. Jason, I think, has prepared really well for this by getting 2 bunkers, but Catz is also building Ravagers at his base. So... we're just gonna have to see how this one plays out. Because this is super expensive for Catz to be doing. He's still gonna have the same issue as last game, which is a lack of tech. If he kills the orbital, though, that's a massive mistake. He's just laying down he's backspread now, which is a classic tactic. The backspread is something we don't see very often, but when you creep spread in reverse from your opponent's natural to your base, and there are multiple creep tumors now blocking the base. Oh, the scan. Oh, he's really gonna try to... if he gets the Overlord, I guess that's something. Oh, the Cyclone! The Cyclone! Oh, no. Well, actually, the Ravagers. Was the Cyclone an okay enough bait? No, there's still 1 creep tumor at the back. Honestly, for Jason, this has to be pretty damn frustrating. Oh, no, the Corrosive Violet of Hellion. This has to be super frustrating to deal with. But, at the same time... this isn't free. You can't just build... like, you don't just get 1 free hatch at the beginning of the game. That's not how Starcraft works. Oh my god. There's a creep tumor still! And at the 5.5 minute mark, Jason will finally be allowed to take his second base. The scan should be enough to take out this tumor. There you go. And here comes the orbital, another orbital that is just going to have like half HP because that's how it is. Is cloak done? Oh, Jason's going to want to get out of there, Queens. Queens? Not today, Banshee. Not today. Oh yeah, Overlord speed, you should have got it while it was going. Because Overlord speed is no longer on a discount. For a while, for about half a year, it was 25% off at $75.75. But Overlord speed is back to 100. You thought the sale would last forever. No. Get it while it's hot, like Twitch Prime. More factories on the way. Were these spotted? Who's using the Alarak? Of course, Catz is using the Alarak announcer. Battlecruiser is done. Jason, the clash of styles, I feel like Jason is always a little bit tilted playing against Catz. I might be completely wrong, but this style of Terran definitely clashes with this style of Zerg. Because you just want to get to a certain comfortable point. You want to have that tug of war. And Catz is always, like you're having a tug of war and then Catz sweeps the leg. And suddenly you're on the ground. And who knows what happens next. And yes, I did just sweep the leg. You guys couldn't see it because I don't actually have legs. But I made an attempt. How many? There are 6 queens, and there are 6 queens. It looks like my ploy has been successful. We're playing Thunderbird, which means, aside from any initial aggression, can't really kill each other. So 73 workers for Catz, 56 and counting for Jason with a solid 3 command centers, 4 bases. The upgrade is still a little light. Are there any armories for Jason? Is he going to remember them now? But where does he put them? There you go. Solid choice. I thought maybe in the wall, but you don't want to be vulnerable. Nidus. Is he going to go for his PP upgrade? Of course, I'm talking about propulsive peristalsis. The very easy to pronounce and rolling off the tongue upgrade for Nidus Lube. Which does require a hive, if I am not mistaken. Can't actually tell from these Evo chambers. We'll find out, though. Just watch the production tab. We got multiple turrets on the way. I believe he spotted... Well, he definitely spotted Corruptors because he already backed off. The turrets are going to box out. There's a singular tank. There's not much else on the ground. The tank doing a whole lot of splash. Oh, massive hits. And it's still going. The Roach is obliterated. This attack a false start from the beginning. The Cyclones are going to clean up the trash and sweep Catz away. The timing attack. Now you see the difference between Thunderbird and Acropolis. Good luck getting up that ramp. Even a single tank. That tank taking like 40% of the total HP pool of the Roaches away, one way or another. The attack completely shut down. There are still 3 battle cruisers on the way. Is there Yamato? Yes. He fires a volley. 1, 2, 3. Jumps away with 1. But there's not enough Corruptors to actually deal with the cruisers. The laser bathtubs continue to saunter through the skies. The queens will be in support. Should be able to get away. Gotta be careful to do it quick enough. 1 battle cruiser left. You can, of course, repair. What is this noise? Jason. 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 He's already moving units into position to deal with the secondary Nidus. Cyclones take down that Nidus network pretty quick. Well done. Jason reacting. Is there anything at the front? There are no more tanks. Oh, he didn't repair the cruisers yet. They are still vulnerable. Oh, at the natural. But the Cyclones, they do spell damage, which goes through armor. Meaning that buildings like the Nidus network, even though they have some armor, easily shredded. So Catz, while he's up 50 supply, he doesn't really have an army he can bring to bear. Should be looking at a... Could you let me finish my sentence? Should be looking at a hive soon enough, as lair tech options have mostly been exhausted. Hydroden on the way. Could we see... Oh, another bug. I keep just... We'll watch the patch video, okay? But the Lurker Den builds a lot quicker, and there's an upgrade. So Lurkers got a slight nerf. 8 range base instead of 9. But there's an upgrade on Hive Tech, Seismic Spines, to get to 10 range, thus extending their spines further than ever before. So Lurkers, we've seen it before. Dark has actually used Lurkers against Mech. And against Bio in this matchup. And on this map was the last time I saw it. And on paper, people are like, well, lurkers have less range than tanks and liberators, but in practice, it's very hard to efficiently engage the lurkers when they get into position. I say this because I can't imagine that's going to be for Hydras. Hydra is just a half measure in most cases, especially against mech. Hive is done. The battlecruiser is a real and present danger. There are 8 corruptors, which might be enough to deal with this. Remember, there's going to be Yamato cannon. Is that a fungal? Did he use anything? Oh, fungal could prevent the jump. The army is drawn out of position. That means the Cyclones are going to move in. This could be a pretty big punishment for this hatch. Oh, fungals catches a group of Cyclones. Might lose an infestor for the price. But a nice, solid clutch of Cyclones there. Oh, but on the exit here, Jason going to pick up a hatchery. Not bad. Catz is expanding in multiple directions. Oh, 3 more clones go down. Okay. A weird amount of upgrades across the board. We got Hydra range. Okay, he's going straight for Hydras. +1 melee. Whereas on the other side, Liberator range and 2-2 mech. Fungal not finding much purchase. The Cyclone's still pretty disgusting at range. The Infestors will lead the charge, but they're more of a figurehead than an actual fighting unit. The battlecruisers are on their way for a counterattack. They shouldn't have to be recalled, but that amount of Cyclones. How many clones we got? We got 13 clones. Yamato's across the board. Rest in pieces, queens. The knitting crew has been eliminated. Only Brenda. Nope. That battlecruisers jump away. One of them had... they jumped to, like, random locations on the minimap, but... Oh, Jason has established he is in the late game. If you look from Katz's vision at the minimap. The sensor tower's giving some solid coverage. Spine crawler's on the way. Oh, Ravager's getting caught up against the wall. Well, who's catching who? No, definitely the Ravager's getting caught. But wait. Fungal. Lock-on's super dangerous. The Corruptors can eat some of the Lock-ons. Of course, they take a bunch of damage. Lock-on does a ton of damage to armored. Not as much to Ravagers as they're not armored, but still. Oh, the Dorito Dust anti-armor missile. Now, once again, that doesn't matter too much, since most of the damage is dealt by lock-on, but you don't want to just be chilling there. Catz has the Infestor selected, throws out a fungal, doesn't find much. One more fungal. Vipers are on the way. What is the transition behind this? As we go back and forth, Catz is banking up a whole lot of money. He's got spine crawlers across the board. He is not screwing around. I'm surprised we haven't seen a lurker den. Neither is Jason, though. He's going nuclear. And not 1, not 2, not 3, but, according to my calculations, 4 goes to... Wait. Does Microbial Shroud require an upgrade? Oh. That's good to know. Alright. I probably should have known that. Enhanced shockwaves on the way. That's already been added, but the EMP radius buff for ghosts, and pretty soon he will have ghosts as well. The Cyclone's on the way. The Spines will buy a lot of time here. But the Cyclones, they're just here to buy time. Try to get the army back down, but the Cyclones are ripping through them so goddamn quick. He scans, he sees the army on the way. Will there be enough lock-ons for the hatch? He's not going to finish it up. Catz will replace the Spines. He has the money. He just doesn't have the army supply. But on the other side, the bait and switch. Still some Roach Hydra back at home. Not making the select all army mistake. Oh, there could be abducts. Abducts on the Cyclones to break the lock as well. Get over here, he says. And he will stop the lock-ons and save the base. The Hydra's on the high ground, also rebuffing the Cyclones. But somehow the Raven is the one to survive. Catz, no. Not today. He's locking it down. Some very solid moves out of Catz, keeping him in a comfortable position. More Cyclones getting grabbed. When you have enough Vipers, suddenly you're taking big chunks out of the army, literally, but EMP across the board! Every single Viper wiped clean of energy. They gotta go back home, pick up a Red Bull. A nuclear missile just flew off into the distance. Jason ideally will not be landing it there. He does cancel it and it flies off into the ether. Or wherever it goes, who knows? There's only, well, the Yamatos were just used, so the Corruptors will survive. He jumps away. Hydra's fighting. We'll be able to crush this army. An awkward fight here. A fungal is used. You're not going to kill a battle cruiser. So Catz kind of trickling in units. This is expensive. He has money to burn, but you don't want to just set it on fire. Catz, now what does he rebuild? He's not maxed out. He's getting 3-3. Adrenal glands is on the way. Nuclear launch detected. Is there a single overseer? The spores? Did he see the second nuke? Uh-oh. I like how he's only moving right as the nuke is about to land, but that's opened up so much space. Jason opening the nuclear breach. Where are the overseers? Oh, microbial. Wait, no, that's blinding cloud. I'm actually not sure what microbial shroud looks like. The nuke will land. Catches some of the reinforcements. Catz is trying to put things together. It's unclear. There's a lot of Hydras, a lot of DPS. There's no energy on the Vipers. Everything mech-related has low HP, but the Zerg unit count is precious low. So it appears Jason does win the fight, but not cleanly. A lot more Cyclones are going to go down. Ghost dying. More nukes coming through. This base badly bruised. A nuke is going to land. It's actually dangerously close to Terran units. More nukes. A very important base with 22 tats. Catz doesn't realize. Oh no! It's a disaster. So many drones obliterated. That nuke hit harder than anything else here. That was the big one. You launch enough nukes and they might make a mistake. Jason launching 3, 4, 5 nukes in the span of a minute there. And Catz lost track of one base, and now he lost everything there. His bank has been burned. There's not much left to it. An evolution chamber, kind of symbolizing this game pretty well, will be consumed and no longer exist. He's not maxed out, but I don't blame Catz. He's kind of trying to figure out exactly what he wants to build. Like, Baneling speed is on the way, but Banelings are kind of a rich man's unit, as whenever they attack, they do die. Jason has 5, 9, 10, between 10 and 12 command centers right now, strewn throughout the map in various forms, and now one less. That's just a lot of Hydras, though. A single nuke? Wait, that ghost is not cloaked, which is a little awkward. He pulls some Cyclones into the fray. You don't want to be fighting a planetary, too, though. The planetary is also fighting. I don't know. This is the most... How many people have died fighting planetaries before? Too many. Yamatos, down go the Vipers. The cost efficiency that Catz was relying on is gone. It's completely shattered. Here come the queens, but... Catz doesn't have the workers, doesn't have the bank, doesn't have the supply. Once again, Jason has baited him into a mediocre engagement. And suddenly, 3 nukes. Are there even overseers? This base and this one. Oh no. The army will come back to defend. 1, 2, 3. And the ghost will finish it off. And the Cyclones take another one. Jason picking him apart between nukes and clones. And Jason is starting to bank on money himself. He can afford this. Nukes are just really big, expensive, long-firing banelings when you think about it. And don't think too hard. He can spend that money to get himself into a good position to close this game out. It's all turned around. Another nuke on the way. Catz is scrambling. There's just not enough units anywhere. The nuke will land. Liberator helping out. The nuke will land actually almost hitting Jason's army. Pulls back just in time. Another nuke. Wait, where is he even launching that from? All right, from this side. Oh, no. The drones! Roasted. And Jason, in similar style to the previous game, will eventually force a decisive engagement out of Catz. Neural Parasite! Well, he says, if I can't have my own army, let me take yours. He uses the jump as well, which maintains the neural? No, it breaks it. Okay. It just looks weird. Remember, there are no infested Terrans, so... A nice attempt, but at the end of the day, not enough. Jason holding on. Solid game. Super interesting game. It just appears that Jason is slightly better when it gets to that longer late game in splitting his units up to pull Catz out of the Catz is, here's some cyclones, here's some nukes, here's some battle cruisers. It's really hard to have your units pre-split to deal with all of that. He says any map. What is going to be a good map for Catz? Teen Triton, World of Sleepers. I want to see what Catz does on World of Sleepers. He's going to proxy hatch at the Rich Vespine and go Ravagers. And I forgot. We forgot to run our... It's match point! We gotta get our ads in. But, if you're enjoying this series, and of course, it's been a little while, because I've been sick, and you can probably tell I'm still getting over it a little. But I'm feeling good. It's been a bit since I casted, or did show matches, so I'm excited. If this is on YouTube, like and subscribe and all that. It actually really does help. I've noticed, on YouTube. And they have ways they tell YouTubers, for those that might not be soulless like me, they have ways of like telling you what things are having a dramatic effect on your channel, and they're probably lying to us, but that has helped, and it has had an effect recently. So also ring the bell. They whine about that a lot too. They're like, but they subscribed, but that doesn't mean shit. You gotta ring the bell. So it's like they subscribed, and then they click the confirmation button again. And then you're gonna ring the bell, and then you're gonna have to ring the bells in sequence. And then you also have to like fingerprint read and just a sample of your DNA in order to confirm, yes, I do want to watch these videos. Unfortunately, not as far off as one would hope. Anyways, Catz, not proxy hatching. Okay, I lied. Yes, proxy hatching, but also proxying his own Rich Vespine base here on World of Sleepers, which I, since they're just kind of leaving the maps up to me past their vetoes, Catz is faking a proxy hatch while rushing Rich Vespine. So I do like the next level mind games here. So for those who don't know, these beautiful purple geysers here, they mine gas twice as fast. That means you only need half as many workers. I can do math all day. No, I can't. Don't make me. But, so they mine out a lot quicker, but you get a more efficient boost. This is especially important if you're going to do something like, say, a Ravager only. So that is the priority for a lot. Well, usually players will take this as their third. Catz has been like, no, it's right there. Why not take it? That is most of Catz's motto. As Jason sending his Reaper out like a normal person to a normal place. Finally, like, he did an SCV scout for the first time. because he's like, well, Cat's just gonna proxy hatch. Did he notice this? Technically, he saw the creep, but I don't know how close he was looking. He also saw that there wasn't a hatchery at the natural, which is probably a bigger deal. Did he spot the roach warren? He did. So Catz now has to make the decision of, am I going for this? And I mean, you got Rich Vespine. Let's go. Why not? Give it a shot. I want to see how this plays out. Bunker on the high ground. So Jason was expecting an actual, like, maybe a proxy hatch at the third. The bunker on the high ground is good, but having it this early means he was scared of an earlier attack. Nothing building yet. He's going to go for a tank first. So he's really committed. The natural, I think, will be given up. Almost certainly. Catz is only at 22 workers. Keep that in mind. Reaper on the way. Oh, Reaper taken out, rather. Not Reaper on the way as I zone out into default caster mode. More roaches as well. So now comes the game of chicken here, pretty much. Where Catz and Jason both have to kind of feel out how committed the other one is to what they're doing. Like is Jason going to just try to macro it out, come down the ramp, do all those things? Whereas, is Catz going to go totally all in? There is that one tank. It is on the high ground. He's not going to be able to throw some corrosive biles at it. That tank being spotted, yeah, you're not going to kill the Viking unless Jason makes a huge mistake. Jason! He's stressing me out. There is a tank. Oh, he moved the tank down, but there's enough Marines boxing out that if he dives on it, oh, this is the time. If there was ever a time, there's a second tank. A third corrosive bile comes through. He knocks one tank out. And there's a second tank, but now there are some links to potentially buffer for a Valley of Corrosive Bile. They do a good job. Does he retarget the tank? He does now, but another tank take it out. Did Jason get too greedy? This could spell disaster. He's taking a third. There's another tank on the way. It ain't done yet. Catz continues. He gambled. Jason gambled. He's like, all right, you're not really going to go that all in. Like, I have a tank. You can't kill me. Well, guess what? Oh, that tank on the high ground is going to be dangerous. I don't know. Catz behind this is droning. He's decided, all right, this is the limit. Like, if there's a tank completely on the high ground, then maybe that will make the difference. And the fact he didn't actually force a total cancel on this base means Jason is still okay. Look at the worker count. Okay. That tank coming in. He's going to make sure that this struggles. There's another SCV at the back. He's really, well, if he can't kill one of these bases, eventually Jason's going to stabilize. Because he's got the workers. Three orbital command Terran. Like, you lose every single one of your SCVs, and you're still in the game. Mules are, okay, they're not quite that good, but they're pretty damn close. Against an all-in of this level of commitment. The one thing Catz has going for him. Alright. I think he's going to force... Well, he can delay quite a long time. When Vikings are hitting the deck against Zerg, and this ain't the Heart of the Swarm cinematic, that's when, well, it becomes a little awkward, to say the least. Catz is expanding to the other Rich Vespine base, because why wouldn't he be expanding to the other Rich Vespine base, you fools? Of course. I mean, why expand to other bases when there are bases with Rich Vespine? There's another one on this side, Catz, if you're looking for another expansion. But Jason holds it down. So now the question is, can Catz's next phase come together before Jason is able to consolidate an actual attacking force? We're talking Stim Marines. We're talking Medivacs. There's already 3 tanks. He's got the bare bones of what will be, more than likely, a strong attacking force. But he still has to go through the motions of building it up. Like he only had 1 barracks. He's going to be adding on reactors now. So there's still a minute, there's still at least a couple minutes, rather, until Stim finishes, till upgrades start, all of that. And Jason will be a significant threat moving out. Catz is going for burrowed infestors with fungal. So, he's really kind of going for the Hail Mary here. Which is, I hope you don't scan me. Without infested Terrans, like, really the only option is fungal. He may, I don't know, go Neural Parasite? He doesn't have roach speed. This is... Jason, once again, is trying to get back to basics. He's trying to get back to, this is how you play StarCraft correctly. And Catz is like, but wait. Seven infestors on the way. Now here's the awkward thing is just... Oh, is that... Okay, so... On the fusion core is also rapid reignition system, which decreases the cooldown of medevac boost. But also with the new patch, it increases the base speed of the medevac, making it even less possible to catch for units like Ravagers and Queens. So it does not increase the boosted speed. The boosted speed is the same. So that is an interesting choice to go for this early. Well, if he scans and just happens to spot the infestor, at what point does Catz pull the trigger on this? Oh, the fungal! He can't go in the medevac! Oh, an incredible catch! A perfect catch! Catz does it! But there are 4 tanks on the high ground, and many disasters have started with those words. So I don't know if really there's much more to be had here. He did great, but I know this is one of those that can start off great, but the longer the fight goes on, I mean, medevacs are medevacs, and I know those aren't the most profound words, but they are accurate. Is there even enough energy for fungal? The infestors have no abilities right now. Like, Catz is overstaying his welcome and then asking for seconds. Catz is at 43 drones. He has infestors and he has ravagers. And that's about it, to be honest. Like, that is about it. A double medevac drop. Does he actually know about this base? Oh, he does now. So this is gonna go down. And Catz, oh god. Oh god, this hurts. And he pops up those infestors, they won't last long. In fact, Jason might actually see them, because there is an animation, and this is a light-colored map, and yes, that does matter. Making it a little easier to see the infestors on the ground. If you watch the Jason vision, it looks so obvious from our perspective, it's a lot harder to see in-game. So, Catz has to go. There's no other choice. He's got to go. There's a whole bunch of tanks. The boy should be pulled. The boy should have already been pulled. This is the one shot. The one opportunity. The corrosive biles on the tanks. The marine count being whittled down to essentially nothing. He's chasing him into the main. There is one big fungal. He needs to get rid of that tank. Where are the corrosive biles? Where are the biles? The tank is doing too much. The tank saves the day. The jaws close. And the Terran army rips through everything. And down they go. And once again, Catz has tried to make the plays, but he's no Shakespeare. And Jason just getting back to basics. He holds, he builds, he counters, and he conquers. 3-0. A clean victory, utilizing a little bit of the balance changes, but utilizing a lot of bit of good old-fashioned Terran, just like Mama used to make. Jason takes it, but thank you to the players for participating. I really appreciate players just being like, yeah, I'm down, let's play a match. Of course, I'm paying them, but still. And if you want to pay me, then like and subscribe and Twitch Prime and all the other sellout things. Ring the bell. Thank you for watching. Still a lot of fun. Like, Catz is one of those players, you throw him in anywhere, and you don't necessarily think he's gonna win, but you're gonna have fun. So I'd argue, well, not only do people love those players, we need those players. So shout out to Catz for that as well. Check them both out, and continue to check out some StarCraft.